Hey, you're watching Lit Sports Online. This is the mixed martial arts segment where we've got Pat to talk about some UFC fights. Particularly in this case, UFC 242, Khabib versus Poirier recap episode. Yep. So we'll start with the undercard. Jojo Calderwood defeating Andrea KGB Lee by a decision. And where do you think Jojo goes on from here?
I think this is the fight that she needed to win to keep her towards the top of the division. She kind of made her way up into kind of a number one contenders fight and then lost that fight. So this is her kind of rebound from that. And Andrea Lee was a hot prospect when she came in. You know, it was very highly touted coming from a different organization and has kind of worked her way up towards the top. And Jojo was kind of her way to jump into that top 7 to 8 kind of realm, you know. And so it was kind of a must-win for Jojo to stay at the top of the division and, you know, a big step for Andrea Lee to take the next leap in competition and, you know, big jump in her career. And Jojo was able to pull it out. It was, a tough fight, close decision. But, it's good to see Jojo Calderwood, get the win and stay up there and have a chance for a title shot at some point.
Moving on to the main card, we've got Curtis Blaydes defeating Shamil Abdurakhimov in a round 2 technical knockout.
It was pretty one-sided for most of the fight, man. Curtis Blaydes just put that really powerful wrestling game on display and was able to just kind of dominate Abdurakhimov in the top position and get a lot of ground and pound, particularly against the fence. He likes to put his body weight on somebody while keeping control of one leg and holding up that far arm away from the fence and landed a lot of ground and pound. And I think that's how he finished the fight. And, it's good to see Curtis Blaydes get another win to keep himself in that top realm of the division. Abdurakhimov was trying to work his way there, but Curtis Blaydes has run into, he's had some tough, high-profile losses, but that's not necessarily a bad thing, overall for your career. I mean, obviously it's a bad thing, but it's not, a death sentence for your career to lose that high-profile fight to a Francis Ngannou. But you got to win these fights, and he did it, and he won in impressive and dominant fashion, and I think it's, I think next he'll get another big-name guy. I don't know exactly where he's going to go from here, but he's, definitely earned his way back towards a bigger name in the division, a bigger money fight, and can start talking about titles again.
Razor Blades, as they call him. Let's see where he goes from here.
Best nickname in the game.
And then the next fight on the main card was Paul Felder defeating Edson Barboza in a split decision. So, close one here. Was it the right decision, do you think?
Well, Edson Barboza is going to appeal it. If that tells you anything. You don't see that very often.
Is that something you can actually do?
Yeah, I've never seen it work, but you could do it, It was definitely a close fight. I think it kind of played out a little bit in the way that I thought it would, as far as Barboza kind of dominating the long distance with his kicks. He's super fast, super brutal with those kicks. His leg kicks are super hard. His body kicks are crazy. Sounds like somebody hitting a tree with a bat when he kicks somebody in the torso. It's pretty incredible. But either way, they gave this decision. I wasn't going to be mad. I understand either way, but I'm glad to see Paul Felder get the win. It's nice to kind of see some new blood at the top of the division. Barboza fought Khabib and got dominated and has been at the top for a while. Not that he won't still stay there. I think Barboza, any given night, Barboza can beat every person in the division not named Khabib, but it's nice to see Paul Felder get that high-profile win that'll put him towards the top of the division. I would love to see him versus, Ali Aquinta, which I think is a rematch, actually. I would love to see him versus, Justin Gaethje. He's just a tough dude. He's gritty. He just gets angry and just keeps walking forward. He throws big shots. He's fun to watch. And it'll be fun to see him towards the top of the division now. And Barboza, man, he'll probably come back and kick somebody in the head. And I don't know, they'll be in a hospital for a couple weeks, but Barboza's insane, dude. He's the best kicker in the UFC, I think, bar none, and he will be back for sure. But I'm glad to see Paul Felder get the win. and we'll see where both these guys go from here. I'm not sure exactly what, but Barboza is so exciting and such a big name that he'll probably get another big name guy, keep him towards the top.
And that brings us to the main event of the main card. We had a lightweight title unification bout. You had undisputed lightweight champion Khabib Nurmagomedov defeating the interim lightweight champion Dustin the Diamond Poirier. And this was in round 3, a submission by a rear naked choke.
Yeah.
You had a kind of an interesting reaction to me introducing that. I'm wondering why.
Because Khabib has lost 1 round in his entire career. Like, before the UFC, including the UFC, everything. He's 28-0, has only lost 1 round. You could probably even make an argument that he didn't lose that round if you want to be a jerk about it, but I think Conor beat him for 1 round, and that was it. And I think that's only because Khabib chose to see if he could stand with Conor, just to prove a point. But dude, it was domination, man. It's crazy to see a guy as skilled as Dustin Poirier in the first round, just looking to his corner, just basically begging for help. Not that he was, but that's the kind of look he had in his eye. In that first round, after Khabib got him down, and he had no answer for Khabib's wrestling, no way to get up, no way to stop Khabib from trying to neck crank him, no way to advance position, he basically just was looking to his corner for Mike Brown and the other guys from American Top Team, just, what's the answer here, right? And to see a guy that good who's been doing jiu-jitsu for that long and is such a good striker and is a high-level jiu-jitsu practitioner and a good, he's a good wrestler in his own right. He's not, he's not going to out-wrestle Khabib, obviously, but he's, as good a wrestler as most strikers can be. And it was just pure, it was total domination, man. Khabib is just so impressive. No one has had an answer whatsoever for anything that Khabib has to offer. I mean, and the crazy thing is that his striking looked good in this fight, which most people think, okay, the answer to Khabib is to stop the takedown, to keep him standing, to land that big shot, discombobulate him, and try to get a finish from there, right? Nobody's come close. Dustin came as close as anybody's come. He and Michael Johnson, who, landed a big shot on him. Dustin landed a big shot on him and looked at Khabib was wobbled. And then Khabib came back and outstruck him. And I think a big part of why Khabib looked good striking in this fight was because of the fact that Poirier had no answer for the takedown. And so Poirier's so worried about the takedown that he can't strike the way he wants to. He can't stand and just throw punches the way he wants to. He can't sit down on his punches. He can't stand as close, where Dustin thrives in that kind of that phone booth fighting where you're standing close to somebody just trading hooks and big shots. And you can't do that against Khabib because you're expecting that takedown the whole time. There was one point where I saw Khabib kind of fake a shot, didn't go for it at all, and you saw Dustin just throw his hips back and have to put his hand on the ground to try to catch. He was trying to sprawl, and so that shows you how worried he was that he bit that hard on the Khabib fake shot. And I don't know, man. I don't see anybody who's going to beat Khabib right now. It was that impressive. I mean, Dustin had no answer for him. And like I said, I think a sort of similar thing to the Conor fight happened, where I think the only reason that Dustin got any traction was because Khabib decided to stand with him for a little while.
So do you see this as kind of like a John Jones type of situation now in this division, where you've got a guy that looks unbeatable, and it's just a matter of when is Father Time coming in to equalize things, or how do you see this playing out over the long run here?
I think Khabib's better than John Jones. I think John Jones has come far closer to losing than Khabib ever has. One thing I didn't mention is Dustin had what looked to be a locked-in, guillotine in this fight and could have finished it from there, but Khabib muscled his way out of it. But that's the closest he's ever been to losing, and he still won that round probably 10-8. The closest he's ever been is Dustin almost catching him in a guillotine. He's lost one round in his whole career. John Jones is, you know, people could have scored that first Gustafsson fight for John Jones. He almost got armbarred by Vitor Belfort. You know, he's been rocked a couple times. John Jones makes people look silly in like striking and stuff, and is able to pull off these crazy victories and like these crazy circumstances and flashy finishes, but Khabib just utterly dominates people and gives them no space to make up any ground at all. And Khabib's, his performance is just unbelievable. He makes the best guys in the world look like they don't belong there. You know, it's incredibly impressive, man. Poirier just had no answer, just like everybody else. You see this look on guys' faces when they're in there with Khabib. It's like watching somebody drown. You know, like they just don't have any idea how to not be where they are right that moment. There's nothing they could do. It's insane. At least with John Jones, when he's striking with people or something like that, or you see guys who are still have the puncher's chance and all this stuff, but Khabib just he breaks people. Like he says he mauls people, he smashes people, he breaks their will. It's insane to watch.
Well, I guess we're just gonna have to see then how long this undefeated run can go for him.
I think he might. There's a very real chance. He has said that he doesn't have a lot of fights left in his career. He's relatively young, hasn't taken really any damage. Maybe he's taken some damage in the gym for sure, but not in his fights. He hasn't taken any like catastrophic, concussive damage or anything. But I think there's a very good chance that he goes on, beats 2, maybe 3 more guys in incredibly dominant fashion like he always has, and then just retires an undefeated champion of the UFC for the first time ever. I think that's a very real possibility that happens. But we'll see. It also depends on his next matchups. And if the guys are able to step up to the,
So that would be the first time that ever happens.
Yeah, there have been guys who have won the championship in the UFC as undefeated fighters. Mm-hmm. Lyoto Machida did that. Colby Covington became an interim champ, undefeated, or maybe with 1 loss. Maybe Kamaru Usman. I can't remember. He's only had 1 or 2 losses, if any. But none of those guys were at the level that Khabib's at, or as impressive as Khabib is. I think I just don't see. There's 2 guys that I want to see fight Khabib, but if Khabib, realistically, he could very easily do the same thing he does to everybody to those 2 guys, and then just retire, call it a day.
So, the question is, does he do that, or does he go for like the longest undefeated streak in UFC history? Like,
I don't think so. This just doesn't seem like his personality. He's a pretty modest dude. He's had a hard life in Dagestan, and his dad he comes from a big group of wrestlers and fighters, and they're just kind of no-nonsense guys, and he's not in it for the money. He's just wants to be the best, wants to smash people, and has already said, I think I only have 2 fights left in me or something like that. So I don't know if he keeps going or not. I don't think so. I don't think he keeps going for very long. We'll see how the next fights go.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
I hope he fights Tony Ferguson next, but we'll see.
Thanks for joining us. Hope you have a good night. Off.
Wait, do that again?
No.
Damn.
Both finishers with knockouts and submissions on their record. Exciting fight potential in this one. No? Don't like it?
No, it's good. It's great. It's exactly what I wrote. I should be in the Writers Guild.